Hello, and welcome to the section which will go through introducing the EdTech standards of evidence. In the previous micro lecture, we discussed the research organisations from a global perspective. And just to put this into context, we have the IES, which is based over in the USA, which have their ESA standards. And this basically ranks evidence from a tier 1 down to a tier 4, with tier 4 being the EdTech company having a logic model, to tier 1, which is the highest rating of the evidence using experimental designs. Over in the UK, we have the Education Endowment Foundation, which funds large-scale RCTs to look at individual programs, but it also has the Teaching and Learning Toolkit and guidance reports for teachers. And the toolkit is used with over 70% of school leaders to help inform their spending of their pupil premium funding. And then over in Australia, we have AERO, which is the Australian Educational Research Organisation. And this again has a standard of evidence to help practitioners be able to judge the effectiveness of interventions. And if you are looking at a good piece of research, then there's a paper there which is for judging the trustworthiness of research findings, which is always a good read if you're looking at effectiveness. But at WhatWorked, what are we trying to do? The EdTech Standards of Evidence is an introduction course, and it's designed to help bridge the gap between research evidence, practice, and EdTech development. Each chapter of the course provides micro lectures and the opportunity to test your knowledge on the key concepts. And the way the standards work is we go from a strong evidence base down to a very limited evidence. And this is split into 5 strands, 3 focused on the actual research evidence, and then 2 which are for the implementation and then for the context of the intervention which is being delivered. So what will this course do? The course will go through the framework and explain the key concepts that are introduced here. So when you're talking about the design of the study, you will know what a rigorous design is, and then you'll hopefully be able to apply this knowledge to the ESA standards. If you're looking at a sample, then it will go through, when you look at the research, what a sample is, and then what you can actually take from the strength of evidence that's there around the sample size. Then also for the outcome measures. So what impact does the outcome measures actually have on the quality of evidence? And then the final 2 strands, which are not linked to the actual research evidence, but these are just as important for EdTech products, is to think through implementation and fidelity, and then also the context and the relevance. So we basically go through in the course the key theory and then give you practical examples to actually think through, which can hopefully help your business when considering evidence. And just to put this in the grand scheme of things on why we're working with teachers. So with actual teachers and policymakers, these are constantly implementing new interventions to try and improve the educational outcomes of learners. However, we always advise them that it's always good to have a healthy level of skeptical scrutiny and ask these 2 questions. So, are these interventions effective? And what evidence do we have to decide if they're effective? So what we're hoping with this course is to help engage EdTech companies to actually start to think through these questions from your point of view, in that how do you know your products are effective and what evidence do you have to decide if they're effective? So hopefully you'll find this course useful.